Okay. Then, this is the type formula or equation we are going to give a solution. Right. Then what are the input? What are the input? That solutions mean the values for x. Values for x. We should want to find in values for x. In that particular equation, there are two solutions because of this square. The square mean this formula, this equation having two solutions. These two solutions you can find by using the formula here. X equal minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2 into a. That's the formula we are using to solve this problem. Right? Here x has two values, two solutions. You can calculate two solutions using this formula here. Right. Now, by looking at the formula here, then if you want to solve this problem, here, how many inputs? What are the inputs here?
A, B, and C.
Yes, very good. A, B, and C. If you know the A values, B values, C values, then you can substitute this value for here for this formula. Then you can calculate the X value. Right. Then output solutions of this equation. There are two solutions. One solution you can identify as x1, the other one x2. x1 meaning minus b plus x2 you can calculate using minus b minus part. This plus and minus separate the two solutions. Right. Then what's the logic behind that? That means you want to identify each and every values of A and B, C. There exist solutions. Each and every values of A, B, and C. Then you should want to know X is exist or not. Then those are the conditions. You want to avoid these conditions. Then only you can find solutions for X. Then what are the conditions? What are the things you want to avoid? If you want to get the solution, then what are the things you want to avoid here?
A shouldn't be 0.
Yeah, the condition 1 is A must be a value. That means A must not be a 0. Then first thing you want to check, A is 0. A equals 0 or not. A equal 0 or not. If it is 0, then no solutions. Right? For suppose A equals 0 mean then this part. What happened to this part? This part become 0. That means x where the x solutions infinite. Infinite means you can't calculate it. Therefore, A should have a value, must have a value. That's the first condition. You want to avoid it. Then second one. What's the second?
The value of square root by should be larger than 0.
Yes. The other one is the value inside the square root. That means in this value. This value must be greater than 0. That means positive value. Then you want to check here b squared minus 4ac. You want to find this value. This value must be greater than or equal 0. Right? You can't find square roots for minus values. Right? This is not possible. You can't find. Therefore, every time when you are solve this problem, that part b squared minus 4ac, in that part must be a positive value, right? Then you can draw the flow chart for this situation, right? You identify what are the inputs, what are the outputs, and the condition you want to face, right? Then by looking at this data, this identified data, then you can draw the flow chart here, right? Then if you want, then you can get these things for your notes. I think yesterday you did it. Then I will give 1 minute to complete. If you are not complete yesterday, then you can complete it now. Right, okay, then I think you finish taking notes of this problem. And now try to build up a flow chart for this problem. Right. The first thing you want to start the flow chart. How you are going to start using this symbol. Right. Then what's the next step? Can someone tell me what's the next step?
Input.
ABC.
Input what?
ABC.
Right. Yeah, you want to input A, B, C, but best thing, first you want to check what? First input A value. If you are input A value correctly, then you can input B and C. Is it clear that point?
Yes, sir.
What about the others? What about others?
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. You are going to, the first thing is you want to input A, B, C. That's okay. But before entering the B and C, you want to check the value of A. Therefore, best thing is first enter the value of A. Right. Then input symbol, here you can use input symbol. Put here input A value. Then what the next step? Check the A value. Then here you want to use decision symbol. Decision symbol. Check A equal 0 or not. A equal 0 or not. If it is 0, what happens? There are two directions. One is if it is the true situation. If it is true, then you want to think what happened if it is 0. That means condition true. Then you want to think what happened if it is false. Right, tell me what happened if it is 0.
We can input B and C values also.
If it is 0, that earlier we identified, if A should not be a 0.
That's all the problem.
Yes. If it is 0, then you want to display or give an error message. Output, you want to give an output error message. Please enter valid value, valid number. Please enter a valid number. Valid number. This is the error message that you want to specify you want to design this error message according to the problem. Right? This error message should be very nice. That according to the situation, according to the problem, you want to design it. This type of error messages. And in this case, A is not valid. Or please enter valid number. In that way, any type of error message you want to output here. Okay. Here I am using valid number, but in your case, you want to produce better messages in such a situations. Okay, then valid number. Then again, you want to input the value for A. Then you want to direct to where? From this output. From this output, valid number.
Input A.
Not valid, sorry, but here put better, not a valid number, right? Not a valid number. Message is not a valid number. Then you want to enter the valid number again. Therefore, you want to direct from this output to here. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Until not satisfied this situation, that means A not equal 0. Until A not equal 0, you want to do this thing again and again. This part repeated again and again. Actually, repeating the things, I will explain from another example. Until that, remember, for this question, there is a repetition part. Right. Until A not become 0, you should want to enter the values, A values. Right. Then what happens if it is false?
Input B and C.
Yes. You want to input B and C. Input B comma C. Right. Now we have A, B, and C, all of values. Then what's the next step? If you have all A, B, and C, then according to the formula, what's the next step? What's the next step here? You are going to find in solution for X values minus B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC divided by 2A. Right. We identify what is A from this part, then input B and C. Then after that, now you have the values of A, B, and C. Then what you want to do? Then you want to put the second condition. Second condition. Before giving the second condition, you want to calculate the value inside the square root. Right? Before giving the second condition, you want to calculate the value inside the square root. Can you understand that point?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then others, what about the others?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, if you have the value of A, B, and C, then next step is you want to calculate what? Value inside the square root. Value inside the square root. Is it a process, input, or decision?
Decision.
Sorry,
Decision.
calculating the value of b squared minus 4ac. Calculating the value of process, right? Before checking the value, you want to calculate it. Right? Before checking the value, you want to calculate. Therefore, next step is process. Right? What is the process here? Calculate b squared minus 4ac. b squared minus 4ac. Right? Suppose this value equal y. Right. Calculate y. Y mean b squared minus 4a. Sorry, this one x. This is a process. B squared minus 4ac. Right. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Okay. Then what's the next step?
Then the decision.
Yes. Now you can check the second condition. Right. Second condition. I am continue from this this side. When you are write down on your books, please continue in this down way. Right. You don't get to the other side. I have no space below, therefore I am going to next slide. Here, next condition. Right. What's the condition here? What's the condition? You want to apply the condition. You want to mention the condition.
Y is greater
Y
than
is
Yes,
larger
Y.
than or equals
Y
to
greater than or equal
0.
0.
Very good. That's the condition you want to check. Right. If it is, then you have to check, think if it is what happened, if it is true, if it is false. Then what happened if it is false? False mean the calculation value of y minus, so negative value. Right? If you are get negative value, mean you are not able to find in the solution. That means error. You want to output error message. Error. Right. Then if it is true, what happened? If it is true, what happened?
Solve the equation.
Yeah, solve the equation. Before that, if it is error, if you are finding the error, then why? What's the reason for that? Because of negative value. Why you get a negative value? Why you get the negative value? Because of the value of 4ac greater than b squared. The problem with ABC, problem with inputs. Problem with inputs. Therefore, if you are finding this error, then again you want to input the A, B, C values. again you want to input the A, B, C value. Therefore, this from this error, you want to create a link for here. Create the link from this situation to here. This line coming from here. Then not valid numbers. Again, you want to repeat this part. Actually, no need to input A again, because already A, we check A. Already we check A. Therefore, if you are finding error here, best thing is create a relationship from this point to here. You want to again input B and C, right? This line from here to link from this part. Input B and C. Now, is it clear that point? I am explaining what I am explaining. If you are getting error, that means y greater than y less than 0. What happened? What you want to do? Y less than 0. Y less than 0, you get error message. That error message you get because of the error of B and C. Then you want to again enter the value for B and C. Right? That is why I link. I point this error message to here. Right? Is it okay? Is it clear that point?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Then tell me what happened. Y greater than or equal 0.
The process of solving equation.
Yeah. Then you want to calculate x value and y value. That's a process. Calculate x value and x1 and x2. x1 and x2. Then once you calculate x1 and x2, then you want to display. You want to display x1 and x2. That means output x1 and x2. Now you can stop the program. Right. That's the flow chart for calculating solutions for quadratic equation. Solution for quadratic equation. Can you understand it?
Yes, sir. Sir, මේකේ මේ අන්තිමට end කරද්දි මේක stop කියලාද end කියලාද දාන්නේ අවසානෙට?
Stop කියන්නේ end කියන්නේ එකම meaning එක.
ඒක මේ වෙනසක්
කැමති එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්.
ලකුණු වලට.
Stop
දෙකටම ලකුණු හම්බෙනවා නේද?
ඔව්. Stop කියන්නේ end කියන්නේ same meaning. Same meaning words, similar words, stop or end. Any word you can use it. Either stop or end. And instead of start, if you like another term, suppose begin, that's okay. Put begin there. Begin කියන එකට කැමති නම් start වෙනකොට begin පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. End වෙනකොට
pseudo codes වල start to end කියන දෙක විතරයි නේද?
pseudo code ලියද්දි එහෙමයි. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කැමති වචන පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. Similar words. නේ? මම ගිය සතියේ ඉගෙනුවා නේද similar words pseudo code ලියනකොට පාවිච්චි කළ හැකි වචන කීපයක් මම උගන්වුවා. ආරම්භයේට start කියන එක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. start කියන එකට කැමති නැත්නම් begin නේ වෙන වචන පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. ගැටලුවක් නැහැ.
Okay, sir.
right. ඒ වගේ ගැටලු තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න අනිත් අයත් අහන්න බලන්න. any language.
hello
තවත් ගැටලු තියෙනවා නම් ඒ වගේ.
sir
ඔව් අහන්න.
මේ අර error තියෙන එකට end කියලා දාන්න පුළුවන්ද?
error කියන එකටද? මෙතන.
ඔව් sir.
මේ line එකද?
ඔව්.
ඔව් ඔයාලට එතනින් ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක දැන් end වෙනවා නම් end කියලා දාන්න. එතන සුදුසු එකක් වෙන්න ඕනේ නේ. suitable message එකක් එතන තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මෙතනින් අපිට ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක end වෙන්නේ නැහැ. දැන් ඔයා end කියලා දැම්මොත් මෙතනින් අදහස වෙන්නේ එතන ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක end කියලා. එතනින් ඉවර වෙනවා කියන අදහස එන්නේ. නේ? එතන ඔයා හැම වෙලෙම දැන් එතන හිතන්න ඕනේ එතනින් ඉවර වෙන්නේ නැහනේ.
ඔව්.
එතනින් එන්නේ error message එකක්. ඒ error එක හදාගෙන අපි ආයේ මේ ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක කරන්න ඕනේ. අන්න ඒ අදහස එන්න ඕනේ.
okay
නේ? එහෙනම් එතන end කියන එක සුදුසු නැහැ. එතනට error message එකක් තමයි එන්න ඕනේ. පැහැදිලිද එතන? පැහැදිලිද? ප්‍රශ්න අපිට කියලා.
ඔව්.
ඒ නිසා එතන අපි error කියලාම දාමු. Then any other problems? හරි එහෙනම් මේක ඇඳගන්න රූපේ right write down draw this diagram on your books. Then I will give time 2 minutes to complete. And finish it. Finish drawing the diagram. Finish it.
no sir
Right, okay, finish it. I give time to finish it. Right now, I think finish drawing this one. If you are having any missing mistakes, then follow the recording of this video, this lecture. Then you can complete it, right? Then you can complete the diagram. Right. Next, we'll try to build up the pseudo code for this situation. Try to build up the pseudo code. Right. By looking at the diagram, then tell me the steps. Right. First step, step number 1.
Start.
Start. Right. If you are not like to this word, then you can use another similar word, begin. Right. Open. In that way, you can use similar words for that. Right. Step number 2. Can someone tell me? By looking at the flow chart.
Input
Input number A.
Input A. The instruction part is input, then A. Right? Here I am not write down the number, input number A. Right? If you like, you can put it. Input A. Then step number 3. From step number 3, what you can find there? Decision. Decision. To represent a decision, what are the words you can use here?
If then.
If. Start with if. Then check the condition. A equal 0. Or you can check otherwise. If not equal 0. This symbol, not equal symbol is this one. Here I am using equal. Check if A equal 0. Then right, what happened if A equals 0?
Output not valid number.
Not valid number. That means error message. Right? Output or display. Right? Similar words. You can use similar words when you are write down the pseudo code. Right? Suppose here I am using display. Display. Please enter valid number. In front of this instruction, you can say the error message. Please enter valid number. Valid number. Right. The step number you can mention as 3.1 that yesterday I explained. You are in if statement. Right. Therefore, until end of the statement, you can use sub numbers. Right. 3.1 is display. Please enter valid number. Then 3.2. What is 3.2? Then from 3.2, they are checking what happened if not equal 0. The other part of the condition. Right here, just under this line, that means 3.1, they are checking what happened. The condition is satisfied. True part. Then you want to specify what happened. The condition is fails. Right? That is from 3.2, line number 3.2. Right? Then what happened? The particular condition is not satisfied. You can extend by using which word? What the word here you are going to use? Else. Else part. Check, always else part check. What happened? The condition is not satisfied. Right. If the condition is not satisfied, what happened? Look at the diagram and tell me.
Input B and
Not satisfied. If it is not satisfied, what happened? In this diagram, right here, if it is satisfied, wait here. If it is satisfied, give the error message and another step here. Yeah, I also forgot to mention this step. What happened if it is false? True, not valid number, then you want to input a value again. You want to input a value again, then this part. I also forgot to put that part in the, yes, here. Before getting this else part, this slide, right, 3.2, what is 3.2? The same time, a equals 0, you want to display the error message, please enter valid number. Then 3.2, what is 3.2? You want to input a value again. You want to input a value again. Can you understand?
Go to 2.
Right. Then what's the statement? What are the suitable words to do that?
Go to.
Yes,
Repeat.
go to. You can use go to statement. Go to which step? Step number 2. Go to step number 2. Go to step number 2. Is it clear that point? Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay.
yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Now go to next step, 3.3. 3.3, then you want to represent the else. What happened? The condition is not satisfied. Not satisfied part you are going to represent under else. That means if you have valid value for A, then what happened? That part you are going to represent under else. In the else, what happened? 3.4. What happened? Else. Another input.
If input B
Input
C,
B comma C. The both numbers you can input together, B comma C. Right. Then what happened? Calculate
Y.
Y. Calculate Y. Is it a part of this if statement? If it is a part of this section, no.
No, it's a separate section.
It's a separate instruction. Therefore, this numbers, this if statement is end from here. That means 3.5 end if. end if. Because we are starting if here, then you want to end that particular if from here. Right. After that, you have to put the next number. Next instruction is number 4. Number 4. What is number 4? Calculate. It is a process. Therefore, to represent the process, we can use the word calculate. Right. Calculate b squared minus 4ac. Right. Is it clear? Line number 4.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Then what about the others?
Sir,
Yes,
මේ 3.2 වල go to කියන්නේ ඒක another instruction එකක්ද?
Another instruction එකක් තමයි. හැබැයි ඒක තියෙන්නේ අර line number 3 යටතේ. Right. Line number 3 වල අපි decision එකක් පටන් ගත්තනේ. මෙතනින් පටන් ගත්තා අර පළවෙනි decision එක.
මෙතකොට go to කියන්නේ නිකන් repeat වගේ එහෙම
මෙතන ඒ decision එක යටතේ එන instructions තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. මෙන්න මේ decision එක satisfy නම් a සමානයි b වෙනවා නම් a සමානයි b වුණාම a යටතේ කරන්න ඕනේ දේවල්, කරන්න ඕන උපදෙස්, කරන්න ඕන instructions තමයි මේ තියෙන්නේ. a සමානයි බිඳුව නම් display කරන්න ඕනේ එක instruction එකක්. a සමානයි බිඳුව නම් please enter valid number කියලා display කරන්න ඕනේ. කරලා ඊට පස්සේ නැවත a වලට value එකක් ලබා දෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට අපි ආපහු input a කියලා මෙතන ලියන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද එක තැනක අපි ලියලා තියෙනවානේ. එහෙනම් 3.2 කියනවා අර දෙවෙනි step එකට යන්න කියලා. Go to step number 2. එහෙනම් go to කියන්නේ මොකක්ද?
නැවත step එකට
ඒ
යන්න.
කියන්නේ ඒක instruction එකක්.
ඔව් ඔව්.
මෙන්න මේ decision එක යටතේ එන මේ line number 3 වල තියෙන decision එක යටතේ එන instruction එකක් තමයි go to කියලා කියන්නේ.
Okay, sir.
තේරුණාද?
සර් එතන දැන් go to කියන එක 3.1 sorry 3.2 කියලා දාන්න නැතුව අපිට 3.1 එකේ sub instruction එකක් විදිහට දාන්න බැරිද සර්?
ඔව් එතකොට sub instruction එකක් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද අදහස් කරන්නේ?
3.1.1 කියලා
3.111ද? නෑ. එහෙම දාන්න එපා. 3.11 කියලා එනවා නම් instructions ඒ එන්නේ මෙන්න මේ display එක යටතේ. display කරන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඔන්න open කරන්න නේ computer open කරන්න ඒ වගේ දේවල් තියෙනවා නම් display වලට අදාළ instruction තියෙනවා නම් 3.11 යට කියලා නැවත ආරම්භ කරලා දාන්න පුළුවන්. right තේරෙනවද?
ඔව්.
right okay. ඒ නිසා 3.11 කියලා දාන්න එපා. 3.2 මේ decision එකේ sub instruction එකක් විදිහට go to කියන එක ගන්න. go to step number 2. ඊට පස්සේ මේ else දාප එක තේරෙනවද?
ඔව් සර් ඒ ටික හරි.
else වලින් ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ condition එක හරි ගියේ නැත්නම් satisfy උනේ නැත්නම් වෙන්න ඕනේ දේවල්. වෙන්න ඕනේ BC input කරන්න ඕනේ. ඔව් එතන එච්චරයි තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ මේ if එක අවසන් කරලා තිනවා end if. right එතකොට මේ decision එකට අදාළ දේවල් මෙතනින් ඉවරයි. 3.5 වලින් ඒ decision එකට අදාළ දේවල් ඉවරයි. ඒ නිසා ඊළඟ instruction එක පටන් ගන්නවා ප්‍රධාන instruction එක calculate. මොකද්ද calculate කරන්නේ? b squared minus 4ac. right ඊට පස්සේ මොකද වෙන්නේ? right ඊළඟ step එක step number 5.
ආයෙත් if y greater than 0
decision එකක් පටන් ගන්න. එහෙනම් නැවත if එකක් අපිට යොදන්න පුළුවන්. Start again a decision. Therefore use if statement. Then you want to represent indicate what is the condition b squared minus 4ac greater than or equal 0. That's the condition we are going to check. Then put the word then. Right. Then next instruction. Check what happened if it is true. Check what happened if it is false. Right. Just under line number 5, that means 5.1. Just under line number 5, you want to represent the things what happened, that particular condition satisfied. That means greater than or equal 0 satisfied. What happened when satisfied?
Calculate x values.
Calculate
X values.
x values. That means calculate x1 and x2. Then calculation. Sorry.
සර් y equals 0 කියලා දාලා එම instruction
ඒකත් හරි. එතන හරි. මෙතන මේක සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ලියන්න නැතුව අපිට instead of this part කෙලින්ම y කියලා දාන්න පුළුවන්. මොකද අපි y කියලා එකක් පාවිච්චි කරා diagram එකේ. තේරෙනවද ඒක? හරි අනිත් හරි දෙක තේරුණාද අහපු එක්කෙනාට?
ඔව් සර්.
හරි. Calculate x1 and x2 ඊට පස්සේ එක පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ value එක display x1 and x2 then 5.3 වලින් දාන්න else right. Then else what happened? else උනොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ condition එක ඒ කියන්නේ y greater than or equal 0 not satisfied. Not satisfied. What happened when y greater than or equal 0 not satisfied?
display message.
Display error. Then
go to step 5.
yes, go to
Step 5.
step number where?
5.
Step number
3.4.
3.4. 3.4. Right. Then 5.6. Now you are finished giving instruction for this condition 2. That means another end if. Right. In this instruction 5.1 to 5.6 belong to second condition. If now we have finished second condition from that point, therefore you can start next line 6. Line 6 is end. Here you can use the word end or stop. That's the end of main program, actually main flow. This is the end of this start. This is the starting, the end of this start here, line number 6. Right, is it clear? Is it okay? Is it understand? And any problems, doubts, you can ask now.
I'm also clear, sir.
Sorry.
No
Sorry,
doubt,
what?
sir.
What's the doubt?
No doubt, sir.
No
Clear.
doubt. So, okay. Any others? What about the others? I think you have all of you get the points. You are clear regarding this problem. If you have any problems, any doubts, then also you can message me. Right? Then, if I can, then I will give the solution for those problems. Right? You can contact me through the Edmodo messages. I think all of you now complete the Edmodo accounts. Through the Edmodo message option, you can contact directly. You can contact me. Right. Okay. Then we'll move to the next example. Right. Next example. Write down the next one. I think example number 5. Right. From example number 5, here you want to apply repetitions, repeats. Right. Here, try to understand the logic behind this repetition. Here, I am not explaining how repetition used in the C++. Only the logic. Here, I am explaining. Right. Then you can apply this logic to the problem. Right. Then later we'll identify how what are the C++ syntax to apply the repetitions. Right. The first you want to understand the logic behind this repetition. Right. That earlier example actually one repetition part there, but you want to understand it properly. Then how you want to apply this repetition in the problems properly also. Right. Therefore, try to understand this part. This is very important. Applying the repetition. Right. Most problems from that point, it must this repetition part in the in your problems. Therefore, you want to identify by analyzing the problem. You want to identify the repetitions. Right. Then once you identify, then you can represent it through the flowcharts or pseudo code. Right. Then the situations where we can find the repetitions. Normally, up to now, we use go to statement. Right? Go to that particular statement, then the steps do again and again. Right? In that way, we identified some of the repetitions things. That I think you can remember the example we did marking student attendance. Right? That earlier when we doing the part problem solving, that one problem I gave you to identify the steps to mark in register in a classroom, teacher mark in the register, attendance register. In this problem, they are asking, they are calling the name. If it is present, mark 1, absent, mark 0. Then the teacher should want to repeat these steps until end of the name list. Repeat the statement 3 and 4 until end of the list. This the example. That's the good example for repetition part. The similar situation you can find normally in the problems. Right. Then when you are involved with the repetition, you have to think in this way. The first you have to think the initial part. Initial values. Initial value. You have to think about how initial value mean how the particular problem going to start. What are the things? What are the parameters you want to consider when something starts? What are the parameters or values you have to consider when starting the repetition? That's the thing first you want to consider. Right? Here, the word value, I am using the word value or parameters. You can another term for value, parameters. Right? Then initial values. You have to think about initial values of this repetition part. Right. Then second, you have to think how that particular repetition part, how it is end. How you are going to finish the repetition. Finish. How you are going to finish. When the initial value become 10, that particular repetition should be end. The initial value become 100, that particular situation repetition is end. The teacher finished reading all the names in the list, that particular repetition is finished. Then secondly, you want to think how that particular repetition part going to finish. Right? Secondly, you have to think how the repetition going to stop. Way of end the repetition. End of repetition. There are many situations, many ways to end the situation. And after reading all the names of the list, it may be end. Right? After calculating all the price in the list, then it will end. That's depend on the problem. According to the problem, you have to think how you are going to end the repetition. Right. Then another term. How you are going to increase or decrease the initial value. That earlier I mentioned the first things you want to think about initial value. Then also you want to think about what happened to this initial value. That means how this initial value going to be increased or decrease. The way of increasing or decreasing the initial values. Way of increasing or decreasing. Way of increasing or decreasing the initial values. Okay. These are the factors you want to consider when you are built up when you are representing the repetition part of your problem. First, think about the initial value. Then you have to think about how these initial values, this end of this repetition, way of ending the repetition. Then thirdly, you want to think how these initial values improving, increasing or decreasing. Right. Now try to apply these 3 steps to example. Right. Suppose you want to print numbers. Suppose you want to print numbers from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, like that you want to print numbers. Right. What are the available methods to print the numbers? Right. What are the available methods to print the numbers? Numbers 10ක් print කරනවා කියලා හිතන්න. දැන් සාමාන්‍ය computers නැත්තම් අපි කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? Numbers 10ක් print කරන්න කියපුවම අපි typewriter එකකින් print කරනවා. නැත්තම් ලියනවා අතින්. ඔය විදිහට 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 ඔහොමම ලියාගෙන ගිය හැකි නේද? If you are not thinking about way of ending, what happened? Okay, ඉවර වෙන ක්‍රමයක් ගැන හිතුවේ නැත්තම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? දිගටම ලියාගෙන යනවා. 100 200 ඒ නිසා තමයි ඉවර වෙන විදිය ගැන හිතන්න ඕනේ. මුලින්ම ආරම්භ වෙන විදිය ආරම්භක අගයන් ගැන හිතන්න ඕනේ. එක ආරම්භක අගයන් ගැන හිතන්න. ඊට පස්සේ දෙක ඉවර වෙන විදිය ගැන හිතන්න. තුන්වෙනි එකෙන් කියන්නේ ඔය වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද? දැන් ඔතන නම් වැඩිවීමක් තියෙන්නේ. හැම වෙලෙම වැඩිවීමක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. සමහර වෙලාවට අඩුවීමකුත් තියෙනවා. 1 2 3 4 වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කොහොමද? Right. By looking at this example by in red color. Right. Tell me what is the initial value? Right. Commonly, suppose these numbers are n may be any number. Think any number. N is any number. n කියන්නේ ඕනෙම number එකක් කියලා හිතන්න. දැන් ඔන්න එකේ ඉඳලා 10 දක්වා 13 දක්වා කියලා මේ example එකේ හැටියට අපි කියමු 13 දක්වා print කරන්න ඕනේ. Right. Now tell me what is the initial value of n?
In this example, number 1.
Number 1. Initial value of n is number 1. Right. Then a way of stop or end the repetition. N become in which value? Which value? Then stop the problem. N become which value? If n become is the initial value, then second one, you want to think about how to stop the program, how to stop printing numbers. You want to stop printing numbers, n become what? Which value? In this example, n become 13. You want to end the printing.
13.
Right? Then third, how these values are increasing. The first value is 1, then second value is 2, 3, 4 in that way. Then how it is increasing? Every time 1, right? We print in 2 mean increase by 1, 3 mean increase 1 to the previous value, 4 mean increase 1 to the previous value, 5 mean increase value to the previous value. Increase by 1 here. Increase by 1. Right? You can further analyze it. Suppose the second value, we can get second value 2 by adding 1 for the first value. You can get this second value, this one, add 1 for the first value. 1 is the first value, add another 1 to that. How you get the third value? Third value is 3. How you get this 3? By adding 1 to the previous value. Previous value is 2. Add 1 to that. How you get the fourth value? How you get the fourth value? Fourth value is 4. Add 1 to the previous value. Previous value is 3. Add 1. In that way, suppose the common value, the any value of this series is n. Right? Suppose any value of this series n. Then how you get the value? This n. By adding 1 to the previous value. The previous value is n plus 1. N plus 1. And you will understand it properly when you are doing the examples here. Okay, now try to represent this in a flow chart. Right, before that, write down these 3 steps here. Right, put the small topic, subtopic repetition. Under that, write down, consider the following facts. Consider the following facts. Consider the following facts. Consider the following facts when representing repetitions, when representing repetitions, when representing repetition from flowcharts or pseudocodes. From flowcharts or pseudocodes. Right, now write down these 3 factors. First one, initial value. Second one, way of ending repetitions, way of end repetition. Number 3, way of increasing or decreasing the initial values. Way of increasing or decreasing initial values. Right, complete write down these 3 steps. Right, I think you finish writing these 3 steps here. Right, now we'll do try to we'll do this in using example here, but before that learn how to represent repetition in a flowchart. Before doing the example, you want to familiar with this thing also, representing repetition, in a flowchart. Flowchart and pseudocodes. Let's put this topic on your books. Representing repetition in the flowcharts and pseudocodes. Right, first we'll see how you can represent this in a flowchart. Right. That earlier I mentioned, when you are representing the repetition, you want to identify initial values, then way of stop the repetition and increase or decrease of the initial value. These are the things you want to think when you are representing repetition, either flowcharts or pseudocodes. Right. The end in the repetition. End in the repetition mean you want to check what are the conditions satisfied to end the condition. What are the conditions you want to satisfy to end the repetition? What are the conditions? That early example, when you are printing the numbers, 1, 2, 3, like that, up to suppose 10, when you are printing the numbers, that particular repetition is n, the n become 10. Once n become 10, that particular, when n become 10, that particular repetition should end. N become 10, that's the condition satisfied. Then what happened to n? To end the repetition, n should be 10. Once n reach to 10, that particular condition should end. That means, way of ending mean you have to think about a condition or satisfy how that particular repetition end. Right. Then remember that point. By remembering that point, now we'll see how can represent it through a flow chart. Right. Here all the initial values. Before you check in the condition, you want to represent all the initial values. Right. Here representing initial value. Right. Representing initial values. It's a process, initial value. That is why I use this process symbol. Then secondly, you want to think how that particular repetition end. That means the condition you are going to use to end the repetition. The condition you are going to use end the repetition. The condition, the symbol for condition is decision. Check the condition. Right. Check the condition. If the condition either false or true. False or true. Right. Then you want to do the repetition until satisfied, not satisfy the condition. When it is not satisfied, stop the repetition. Right. Then you want to do the repetition until satisfy the condition. If it is not satisfied, it should be end. Until satisfy the condition, whatever the inside the repetition, you want to repeat again and again. The condition become unsatisfied, that repetition should be end. Right. Now check the condition. If it is false, stop the repetition. Use the stop symbol or end. Stop the symbol. Right. If it is satisfied, then what happens satisfied? Then you want to think about how the initial value increase or decrease. Increase or decrease of the initial value. Right. Earlier you write down the steps. Third step is think about how the initial value is increasing or decreasing. This is the place where that particular steps representing in the flowchart. Think about increasing and decreasing the value. Then again check the condition. Here, if the condition is satisfied, again increase or decrease. Again go to the condition. Check the condition is satisfied or not. If it is satisfied, again go to the increment or decrement. Do the whatever things in the repetition. again check the condition in that way. Right? That particular part, this one, do again and again until condition is not satisfied. Condition if not satisfied, then go to the false direction and end the repetition. Right, that's the way how representing repetitions in the flowchart. Repetitions in the flowchart. Right, is it clear? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Right, okay. Others? All of you get the point?
Yes,
At
sir.
least a little bit, oh? Yes, ask. Okay, and මොනවද ගැටලු තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න පුළුවන්. තේරුණාද හැමෝටම?
clear sir.
Right, okay. හොඳයි එහෙනම් මේක ඇඳගන්න රූප සටහන draw the diagram on your books. Right, I think you finished drawing the diagram here. I finished drawing the diagram.
Yes sir.
Right, okay. At the same time, try to understand how you can use pseudo codes. What are the pseudo code words available to represent the diagram repetitions? Right, what are the pseudo codes available here? Right, there are two types of pseudo codes words available. These two they are commonly used. The first one is you can use the word repeat until. Repeat until. Repeat until. Second one, while do. These two methods normally use in the pseudo codes to represent the repetitions. Right. This actually when you are using repeat until, that particular condition you want to represent at the end. Repeat until. Here I am using the symbol C within bracket. C mean here condition. Repeat, then statement inside the repeat until. At last use the word until with the condition. If we are using while, the condition come in between while and do. Here. So remember that point when we are write down the pseudo codes, it will understand better how to use this repeat until or while do to represent the repetitions. Right. Until that, remember these two types, two methods you can use to represent the pseudo codes. Right. Also write down these two words, two methods. Use write down the in this way. Use the following methods. Use the following methods. Following methods in pseudocodes. Use the following methods in pseudocodes. Number 1, repeat until. Number 2, while do. Right, okay, is it okay? Finish writing?
Yes, sir.
Now, try to do example to understand, then you can understand better how to use these repetitions in a problem. Right. Write down the example. Draw a flow chart. Draw a flow chart and write down the pseudo code draw a flow chart and write down the pseudo code, write down the pseudo code to print numbers from 1 to 10. Numbers from 1 to 10. Right. If this type of problem here also you want to analyze it, right? Analyze the problem. This analyze mean identify inputs, process and the output. Right. In this case, is there any input in this problem?
No, sir.
Sorry,
No.
no inputs here, right? Because just you are going to print the numbers. They're asking print the numbers. Right. Therefore, no inputs to print the numbers. But here you have a logic or process and the output. Output is printing numbers from 1 to 10. Then what's the logic behind that? That earlier I explained it. However, look at again. Suppose the number you want to print, common number n. Here, try to understand in this way. You want to print numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, like that up to 10. Once, right, up to 10. Suppose a common number as n. N is the common number. Right. That according to our repetition theories, you have to think the initial value. The first value you want to print. Initial value mean here the first value you want to print. Right. Then think using this n, this common value. First value you want to print 1. That means n is the number you are going to print. That's any number. Therefore, what's the first value of n? What is the first value of n?
1.
Number 1 0.
1. N should be 1. Right. Then you want to print the second value. Then how you calculate the second value? First value, how you calculate the second value?
n plus 1.
Yes. Add 1 to the previous value. Previous value means the first value. First value is 1. The second value, here, think in this way. Second value mean 2. You get 2 equal previous value 1. The increment is 1. 2 equal 1 plus 1. Third value, that means number 3. 3, you get 3 by adding previous value to add 1 to the previous value. Previous value is 2. Here the previous value, this one. Then how you can get the next value for fourth value? Previous value is 3
plus 1.
at
3
1.
plus 1.
Then how you get the next value?
4 plus 1.
4 plus 1. 4 means the previous value. And in that way, how you can get any value? N. Any value is n. N equal the previous value. Previous value also n. N plus 1. N equal n plus 1. Here, this n is the new value. New value. This n is previous value. Add 1 to the previous cell. Right? Whatever the value here, come to. Right? Is it clear that point?
Yes.
Right. Okay. That's the way how you can understand the logic. Printing numbers. How you get the printing values. Right. In that way, you have to think how you get the printing values. Just the first value, you want to print the first value. Then you have to think how you get the second value, third value, fourth value. Then you can identify your common pattern. Using this common pattern, you can use this common pattern in the flowcharts or pseudocode to represent the things. Right. Then if you want, you can write down the whatever the things I mean, write down here in red color. Then finish writing it. I'm going to erase it now. Okay. All right. Now try to draw the flow chart. Start the program. Right. What's the next step? Can someone tell me what the next step?
n equals
A,
0.
A
Yeah,
equal
the initial value. The first you want to specify the initial values of the things. Right. Here in this case, we are going to print the numbers. Remember the problem, print the numbers. Therefore, the first thing is you want to specify the initial value. What's the first number you are going to print? What is the first number you are going to print? This is the thing you want to specify at very first in the flowchart. The commonly these numbers we identified as n. Therefore, n equal 1 is correct. In your answer is okay, correct.
n equal
But,
1.
yeah, but think the logic behind that. N equal 1 mean the first number in the list. Initial value, is it a process or input or decision?
Process.
Process. The first thing you want to do is set the initial value of n equal to 1. Set the initial value of n to the set. The first thing is you want to set initial value of the list to the n. Our list, remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the list we are going to print. Still not print anything. The first step is set initial value. That means 1 to the common value. Here you can write down set n as 1. Or in other words, you can say n equal 1. Set n as 1. Still not printing any number. Still not printing any number. Right. Only giving the initial value. Right. Next step. What's the next step? Next thing, you want to check what that particular things list printing is end or not, repetition is end or not. To check the end or not, use the condition symbol, decision symbol here. Right. Right. Now tell me what's the condition here. If you want to stop printing or stop repetition, then what's the things you want to give in here?
n greater than
N is
11.
greater than
n
10
equal
N
is greater than 10.
11.
n greater than 10.
Yes.
11.
Right. Put the
11.
logic here and we'll try it. We'll try it.
No,
I have
11. 11.
n greater than 10. I write down in that answer here. We'll see that answer is correct or not. Right. If it is satisfied, you want to print the other numbers. That means true. If it is false, what happened? You want to stop the repetition. You want to stop printing. If it is false, stop printing. That means end the program.
So okay, false උනොත් නෙමෙයිද දිගටම යන්නේ?
Sorry?
ඒ කියන්නේ ඔය මේ process එක දිගටම වෙන්නේ false උනොත් නෙමෙයිද?
අද මට තේරුන්නේ පොඩ හයි කියන්නකෝ.
ඒ කියන්නේ sir false උනොත් නෙමෙයිද ඔක දිගටම වැඩ කරන්නේ?
නෑ. Condition එක satisfy වෙන්න ඕනේ. True වෙන්න ඕනේ. True වුණොත් තමයි දිගටම වැඩ කරන්නේ. False වෙච්ච ගමන් අයින් වෙනවා. හරි? ඕක වාට අනිත් පැත්තට හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. Condition එක මාරු කරලා
කියලා ගන්න පුළුවන්.
ඔව් condition එක මාරු කරලා false වෙනකන් වැඩ කරන්න කියලා true වෙච්ච ගමන් අයින් කරනවා. දැන් මෙතන මම පැහැදිලි කරන්නේ true වෙනකන් condition එක satisfy වෙලා තියෙනකන් වැඩ කරනවා. ඒ පැත්තට මේ හිතන්න පුරුදු වෙන්න. condition එක satisfy වෙලා තියෙනකන් වැඩ කරනවා. කොයි වෙලාවෙ හරි false වෙච්ච ගමන් නතර වෙනවා. ඒක හරියද point එක clearද? හරිද? ප්‍රශ්න ආපු එක්කනට clearද ඒක?
හරි sir.
condition true නම් මොකද වෙන්න ඕනේ? අර
print no
increments or අර තුන්වෙනි අවස්ථාව. right? මේ value එක n වල අගය වැඩිවීම හෝ අඩුවීම සිද්ධ වෙන්න ඕනේ. n වල අගය කොහොමද වැඩි වෙන්නේ? කොහොමද n වල අගය වැඩි වෙන්නේ? First value 1, then second value 2,
n
then
plus
third,
1.
fourth.
Adding 1 to previous number.
Yes, adding 1 to previous. Previously I explained it how n is increased or not. Right. That particular increment or decrement, that means increase or decrease, you can represent using this formula n equal n plus 1. Or in words, you can say n increased by 1. That's also okay, correct. N increase by 1. This is also correct. That initially we used the word set n as 1. Now says n increased by 1. As a formula, initially n equal 1. Now n equal n plus 1 is the formula.
මෙතන n සමාන 1යි නම් n ගුඩයි නේ ළඟට ඒ කියන්නේ මෙතෙන් true නේ අපි false නේ යටට වැටෙන්න ඕනේ.
now condition එක ගැනද ඔයා කියන්නේ?
ඔව් හා
ඔව් සර් ඒක තමයි
අපි එතනට එමු ඈ මම දැන් අර කියපු උත්තරයක් ඔතනට දාලා දැම්මේ. අපි බලමු ඒක හරිද කියලා.
හරි සර්.
හොඳයි දැන් මෙතන increase කියන එක දැම්මා n equal n plus 1. ඊළඟට අපි හොයාගත් අගේ print කරන්න ඕනේ, display කරන්න ඕනේ, output එක දෙන්න ඕනේ. Right? You want to represent the output. Therefore, you want to display 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means all the numbers you want to print. Here output or print, I use the word print. N. You want to print the n value. Right. Then check the condition. Condition is satisfied. Then go to the true direction. Check the condition. Again, if it is satisfied, go to the true direction. Then you want to do this parts until false the condition. And that's the structure of your flow chart in this for this example. Right, now try to apply the values and check. Start the program here. In this situation, n equal 1. When you are coming to this situation, this step, the value of n is 1. Right, now go to the decision, put 1 to n, check 1 greater than 10. What can you say about this condition? 1 greater than 10, true or false?
False.
False. Then what happened? Go to which direction?
Stop the program.
False part and stop the program. It will not go to the repetition part. That means, is it correct? It will print the things we want?
no sir.
No, sir.
It will print the things we want?
no sir.
No. Then problem with condition. Then what's the correct condition?
true false මාරු වෙන්න ඕනේ.
Sorry?
Less than.
Less than. Right. We'll put less than here. Right, n less than 10. Right, now n become n 1 in this step, second step. Right, n value of n now 1. less than 10. Now condition is true or false?
True.
True. Condition is true. True means it direct to the true section. Right. In this true section, in this part, the first thing is increment. Right. Now tell me n value. When you are coming to these steps, what's the current n value?
One.
N value is 1. Current n value is 1. Here 1. This current n value is 1. Put the 1 here. Then what's the new value of n?
2.
2.
2. N become 1 plus 1, n2. Here this is the previous value. We know this value that already we assign it as 1. Then 1 plus 1 equal 2. Right. Then go to the next instruction. They are saying print n. Now what's the value of n here?
2.
2. The first value they are printing is 2. Is it correct? What's the first value we want to print?
1.
1.
1. Right. Then what's the thing we should want to change here to print the 1? The first value we should want to print in the list is 1. But in this diagram, print 2. What the changes you want to do it here?
Before condition, print
Equals 0 or
N equals 0.
And that's good answer. Right? That initially instead of 1, the one answer is instead of 1 you can specify here 0. N as 0. N equals 0 here. Now n becomes 0. 0 less than 10. If it is true, therefore go to the next instruction. You can put n 0 here, 0 plus 1. Then n value is 1. Print n. That means the first value they are going to print the first value as 1. Right. Then after that, again go to the condition. Now second n value is 1. 1 less than 10. Condition is true. Go to the next line. Now n value is 1. 1 plus 1, 2. Go to the next instruction. They are saying print n. Now they are printing the second value 2. Again go to the condition. When you are reaching to condition, now new value of n is what? 2. New value of n is 2. Check 2 less than 10. Still true. N new value of n is 2. The previous value is 2. 2 plus 1, 3. New value is 3. Go to the next instruction. Print n. That means print 3. Can you understand that repetition?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then how it is end? Tell me. N become which value? N become think n become 9. N become 9 means still condition true or false. True. N become 9. It is true. In this situation, 9 plus 1 means n 10. Now go to the print instruction. Print n mean print 10.
Yeah.
Right. Now the n value is 10. Put 10 to here. They are trying to check 10 great less than 10. Condition true or false?
false. False.
False. Now again, it go to the repetition part. No, because of condition is false. Now go to the false direction and stop the program. Can you understand? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Actually, that's one solution. Good solution. N 0. that initially the value of n you can assign as 0. Right. That earlier we took n as 1 without changing this n equal 1. Then what are the changes to get the correct answer?
False.
Another way,
Output print and n equal n plus is change the steps.
n
Print steps and n equal n plus 1 need to change steps.
another way is before the printing instruction, before giving this increment or decrement, you can apply this printing instruction to here. Then first print the number and then increase the value. That's also correct. And you can interchange this instruction and this one. Right, okay. Now draw the diagram here. Is it clear, this diagram?
Yes.
Right. Put n as 0 and draw the diagram, right? Put n as 0, the initial value get as 0 and draw the diagram. Right, I think you finish drawing it. Finish it. Right, I think finish you drawing this diagram here. Right, now try to build up the pseudo code same time. Pseudo code, what is the first step? Step number 1, start. Right. Step number 2, what the step number 2? That's a process. You can use the word calculate, process, set. Here I am using the word set. Set n equal 1. Step number 3, here start what? Here start in next step, start what? Decision or repetition? You want to decide it. Here start a decision or repetition?
Repetition?
Here start a repetition. That's the thing you want to understand, right? Here not the decision. Here start a repetition. And therefore, use the word to represent the repetition. That earlier I gave 2 methods. I am using while. Therefore, put the word while. Yes, someone saying n should be 0. Yes, you are correct. Here, that one method is put in 0 and continuing it. Right here, according to this diagram, n should be 0. N equal 0. Right, good. Yeah, very good. Concentrating better to the lesson. That's the things I want, right? When I doing some things, some error here, please inform me. Right, start while, then condition n less than 0, while do. Just put the do after condition. Right, now the things you are going to give in inside the loop. Now the things you are going to give in inside the loop. Right, therefore put the number 3.1. Right, then tell me what is 3.1. What are the things I am going to write down here? The things inside the repetition. The first thing, n equal n plus 1. Then how you going to give in this instruction? Understand, is it a process or output? It is a process. Therefore, you can word the same word I am going to use, set n equal n plus 1. Also, you can use calculate, right? Calculate n equal n plus 1. Also, you can use the word, if you are using the word n increase by 1. Then 3.2. Someone tell me what is 3.2?
Print.
Print n.
Print n. Print output. Okay. Print display anywhere. Any similar word you can use. Right. Here I am using print n. Right. Then next step, you want to repeat 3.1 and 3.2 until end of the condition is not satisfied. That no need to go to statement here again. Here just end the statement. Right. 3.3 end while. End while. Then number 4, stop the program, or end or stop the program. That's the pseudo code for printing numbers from 1 to 10. Right here, someone saying n less than or equal 10. The condition, why don't take in that way? N less than or equal 10. Why? Can another one can tell the answer? What happened when we get n less than or equal?
Printing 11.
Yes, it will print the 11 also, because if you are put 10 here, it will check 10 less than or equal 10. The condition is still true. 10 less than or equal 10 mean condition is still true. Therefore, it continue the repetition. Finally, it also print the 11. Right. We want to stop it in 10. That is why we didn't take n less than equal or 10. Right. If you are taking n less than or equal 10, then what are the changes you want to do? If you are taking n less than or equal 10, in that case, what are the changes you want to do? try to change, try to understand those things also, right? There are different alternative solution for this type of problems. If you want, you can apply this n less than or equal 10 also. If you apply this n less than or equal 10, then you want to do some small changes to others also. Then I am asking, what are the changes? Starting value should be 1, n equal 1. Then you want to print the n value before increase or decrease the value. Right, okay. Then later you can try giving the other alternative solutions also. Try to construct the same problem by using another ways. Right, okay. Then I will give you 10 minutes break. Then we'll start again 10:45. 10:45. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay.
සුඩෝකෝඩකින් මේ n less than 0 කියලා දෙයක් තියෙන එකට ඒක n less than 10 කියලා දෙනවා less than 0.
Less than 10. Yes, you are correct, right? Not 0 here. And mistake. I made the mistake here. N less than 10. Is it clear for others? I made the mistake there while in the pseudocode, while n less than 10. That earlier I put here 0. That mistake made by me. I'm talking about this point here. N less than 10. N less than 10, not 0 here. Right, okay, we'll meet after 10 minutes from now. 10:45 we'll meet, right? Okay.
Smack that thing, go get that, and go get that.
ටීම් වල මෙසේජ් එකක් කවර ඉන්නවා තාම
හරි අපි පටන් ගමු හරිද? ඇවිල්ලා දින්නේ ඔක්කොමලා. All of you are here now? Right, still now we are going to start again. I think you can understand the things here. Repetition, printing numbers from 1 to 10. That's the example. One student again asked, can we use that n less than equal 10? I explained it earlier. You can use it n less than or equal 10. If you are using the condition like that, then you have to changes. You have to do some other changes also. The initial value, you have to change the initial value. Right. Think in that way also. Try to put n less than equal 10 as the condition. Then identify what are the changes you want to do the other places. Right. Try to do that. Now we are moving to another example. Right. Write down this example here. Draw a flow chart. Draw a flow chart and write down pseudocodes to find total of numbers between 1 and 10. Right. The early example, we print the numbers between 1 and 10. Now they are asking you to find the total between 1 and 10. Right. Here the final here output should be, identify the output here. Total equal 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, like that up to 10. Numbers between 1 and 10. Right. Here this is the output we are expecting. Right. To get this output, then how you want to design the flowchart and the pseudocode. Right. Here identify, is there any input in this case? What can you say about that? Is there any input? Is there any input here?
1 to 10 numbers.
Actually, no need to input these numbers 1 to 10. Right? These numbers are available with us. No need to input. Right? Only you want to think in this case the logic. How you calculate the total from 1 to 10. Right? That already we identified the output. Right? Your output will be the total of between 1 and 10. Right. Right, okay, okay. Now problem solved. Total, here we are identified the output. Then you want to identify the logic. What the logic behind it? How you can calculate, how you can get the total between the numbers from 1 and 10. Right. Tell me, think and tell me. This time you want to count. Count it. You want to count this time, you want to count and find the total. Suppose total, in this say total. Right. Now tell me, before counting anything, that means count equals 0. What is the total? Before start counting, count means 0 means we are still not start counting. Then what's the total?
0.
0.
Please 0. Yes. Right. Now we are start counting. That means counter should become 1. Counting. Once counter become 1, then what's the total?
1.
Sorry.
1.
1. Very good.
1.
In 1. Here this one should add. This the total is 1. How made up this one here? Is the new one. 1 equal previous value is 0. Previous value plus the first number of the list. First number of 1. 0 plus 1. This is the way it's created. Right now,
Right.
count become 2. Then what's the total?
3.
3. Then how made up this 3? By adding
1 plus 2.
2 plus 1. 3 equal previous value. Previous value 1. Previous value 1 plus 2. Count become 3. Then total, you want to add the next number 3. 3 plus 3,
2 plus
6.
1.
6 is made up. 6 equal previous value 3 plus the next value of the list 3 plus 3. Right? Then similarly, count become 4. What happened total? Then what the value of total?
10.
10. Then also think about how this 10 is created. 10 equal previous value. Previous value is 6. 6 plus the next value of the table, the list. 6 plus 4 equal 10. Can you understand the pattern here?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Then tell me in that way, one count is become 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Then what's the common equation for that? Count. Always count is calculate increase by 1. Always count is calculate count equal previous value of count. Count plus 1. Is it okay, this equation here? You want to think how count is increased. And in that way, how total is increased? Tell me, someone tell me how total is increased. How total is increased. You can identify, you can understand how total is increased by looking at these equations. By looking at these equation, you can identify common equation. Right. Now, someone can tell me what the common equation here. Our total equal what? Here always says total, new total equal previous total plus 1, previous total plus 2, previous total plus 3. Therefore, our new total equal what? Previous total plus, tell me, previous total plus,
Count.
yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That means count 1, 2, 3, 4, these values. Therefore, total equal total plus count. Can you understand that? All of you clear? All of you clear the point here? Isn't there any doubt or unclear things? And here only I am explaining how to count the values, total values. How you can get the total from 1 to 10. You have to think how count it and how total is increased. Right. Then how you can get this thing into a flow chart. Then here you have to think about initial values of count and total. Initial value of count and total. Then you have to think about how count is increased, how total is increased. In this time you have two things you have to think. That previous time only you think one thing. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Students?
Yes, sir.
Right. Can you understand the things what I am explaining here? In this problem, can you understand the problem, this theory behind that? Okay, I assume that you all of you are clear. You are not replying. Right? Right. Then from that point, I am going to draw the diagram here. Right. In this time, you have to think about two initial values, count and total. Then you have to think about how count is increased, how total is increased. Right? All of these things are available. Count is increased by 1, count equal count plus 1. Total is increased according to the count. Total equal total plus count. Right? We identified the things here. Right? Now try to draw it. Right? I will give a few minutes to complete that, to try for yourself. Try to draw it. Right, try to draw it this one. If someone finish, please take a picture and WhatsApp to me. Right, if someone finish, you can WhatsApp, take a picture and WhatsApp to me. My WhatsApp number is available now in your chat box. Right, try to it within 2 minutes. Try to complete it.
ආරක මයම නේද? ඒක නිකන් අයිවනේ මං අයිවනේ ෆෝන් එකේ තියෙන්නේ. මේ අර වහන්නේ නේද? යා වහයි.
Right, okay. I think no one finished it. I am going to draw the flow chart for this problem. Right, please tell me the steps. Start. The first step, start. Right, then next step. Tell me what's the next step. Next step.
N සමානයි 1.
N equal count on n. What's the now? Count.
Set as 0.
Yeah. Count set as
0.
1. Is it process? So input. Is it
Process.
process? So input.
process.
It is a process. Here you can say count equal 1, or you can say like earlier one, count set as 1. That's also correct. Right. Then after that, what is the next? What's the next?
Total is 0.
Sorry.
Decision.
Decision. That before that, what we are going to do here?
Total is 0.
Get the total, no? You are going to count the total between 1 and 10. Therefore, you want to things to count. You want to things to count. That means total. You want to get a total. Therefore, you have to think about that total value. Before counting anything, what is the total? That is the another.
0.
Yeah, another value we have to think. Before you counting, actually count, better to put here 0, count equals 0 before counting anything. Therefore, better to get count as 0. before counting anything, then think about what is the total. Total also 0. Set total as 0 or total equals 0. Right, now the initial values are okay. Count set as 0, total set as 0. Right, now think about where the place position where the counting finish. Where the position that counting finish. That means you want to decide, you want to take a decision where the place that counting is finished. Okay. Decision. Therefore, you want to represent here decision symbol. Right. Tell me what is the decision I'm going to apply here. By applying this decision, that means it should be in the counting.
10.
Counting is finished when? Count become in which value?
10.
Count become 10. The counting should be finished. Count become 10. That's how it is put here.
If
Count become 10. That means count should be 0. That's already 0. Then count should be 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. All the values should apply with count. That finally count become 10. Then only the finish counting. Then count what? Equal 10, less than 10, or greater than 10.
less than 10.
Equal to.
Equal. Right. Try with equal. Right. Then what happened actually? Think about when you are in this position, count
And
equals
equal.
0. When you are this position, total equals 0. Then you are coming to this position, count equal what? 0. They are checking 0 equal 10. 0 equal 10. That means condition false. Condition false. Program stop. Then not calculate the values we want. Straight away stop the flowchart. Therefore, what's the best thing? Put in here. Count equal 10 no. Count become 1, 2, 3 like that. Therefore, put less than 10. Count should have all the values from 1 to 10. Not one particular value. 0 means one particular value. Count should have all the values from 1 to 10. Therefore, here the best thing is count label as count less than 10. Right. That's the point we have to think when we are programming. There are lots of places like that. Then we should want to think what is happening, what are the conditions, how repetition going to end. Count less than 10. If it is false, it should be end the program. If it is true, then what happens if it is true? Tell someone what happened if it is true. Then within the repetition, what are the things we want to insert? That earlier I mentioned at the very beginning of the repetition. What the third thing we should want to think? Repetition එක ඇතුලේ සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ මොනවද? හැම වෙලේම. Repetition එක ඇතුලේ සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ මොනවද?
Go to the previous step.
repetition එක ඇතුලේ දැන් අර අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලා හදපු ලියපු ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එකේ මොකක්ද උනේ print කරන එකේ initial values වල මොකක්ද වැඩිවීම සටහන් කරා නේද වැඩිවීම හෝ අඩුවීම අපි repetition එකක් design කරනකොට මුලින්ම initial values ගැන හිතන්න ඕනේ ආරම්භක අගයක් දැන් count කියන එක 0 වෙනවා total කියන එක 0 වෙනවා ඒවා තමයි ආරම්භක අගයන් ඔන්න අපි ආරම්භක අගයන් දීලා ඉවරයි ඊට පස්සේ අපේ වැඩ ටික ඉවර වෙන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා හිතන්න කිව්වා ඉවර වෙන්නේ count කියන එක 10 වුණාම හැබැයි count කියන එක 10 වෙනකන් යන්න ඕනේ count වලට එක අගයක් අරගෙන හරියන්නේ නැහැ count එක 1 වෙන්න ඕනේ 2 වෙන්න ඕනේ 3 වෙන්න ඕනේ 4 වෙන්න ඕනේ මේ විදිහට 10 දක්වාම යන්න ඕනේ එහෙනම් මේ හැම වාරයක්ම check කරන්නේ count කියන එක less than 10 කියන condition එක හරහා condition false වුණොත් program එක එතනින් නතර වෙනවා true වුණොත් දැන් repetition එක ඇතුලේ මොනවද සිද්ධ වෙන්න ඕනේ තුන්වෙනි අවස්ථාව අපේ අර initial values වල වැඩිවීම හෝ අඩුවීම සටහන් කරන්න ඕනේ
count plus 1
එක වැඩිවීමක් තියෙනවා count plus 1 පටන් ගන්නේ 0 වලින් එහෙනම් අපිට කියන්න පුළුවන් මෙතන count එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ කොහමද count equal එකකින් වැඩි වෙවි යන්නේ එකකින් වැඩි වෙන වෙවි යන අවස්ථාව අපිට පුළුවන් count equal count plus 1 කියලා ගන්න අනිත් වැඩිවීම මොකද්ද total එක වැඩි වෙන ආකාරය අපි ලියන්න ඕනේ. එතන මම අර ඉස්සෙල්ලා පැහැදිලි කරා කොහොමද total එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ. කොහොමද total එක වැඩි වුනේ?
total plus count
yes total plus total equal total plus count. ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට තමයි total එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ. total එක වැඩි කරගෙන දැන් යනවා condition එක ආයෙ check කරන්න. condition එක හරිනම් නැවත count එක වැඩි කරනවා total එකත් වැඩි කරනවා ආයෙ count එක condition එක check කරනවා. condition එක හරිනම් ආයෙත් count එක වැඩි කරනවා total එක වැඩි කරනවා ආපහු condition check කරනවා. කොයි වෙලාවෙ හරි condition එක false වෙච්ච ගමන් යනවා false direction එකට ගිහිල්ලා මොකද කරන්නේ? program එක stop වෙන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා තව දෙයක් තියෙනවා මොකක්ද?
display
අපි හොයාගත්ත total එක මොනවා කරන්න ඕනේද? අපිට පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ. හොයාගත්ත total එක print කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ output එකක් තියෙනවා මෙතන. දැන් ඉස්සෙල්ලා එකේ අය output එක ආවේ repetition එකම ඇතුලේ. ඇයි ඒ? දැන් එකේ output එක එන්නේ print total කියලා repetition එකෙන් එළියේ. print total. total එක print කරලා තමයි program එක stop වෙන්නේ. ඇයි ඉස්සෙල්ලා එකේ ඇතුලේ ආවේ දැන් එකේ print එක එළියේ ඉන්නේ.
එක උත්තරයක් විතරක් වෙන නිසා
මොකද්ද පොඩක් අය කියන්නේ?
එක උත්තරයක් විතරයි ගන්න තියෙන්නේ output එක.
ඔව්. දැන් තියෙන්නේ අපිට calculation කරලා final answer එක. නේ? අන්තිමට ලැබෙන උත්තරේ විතරයි අපිට output එක විදියට ඕන වෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා එකපාරයි print වෙන්නේ. ඒක loop එකෙන් එළියට ඇවිල්ලා print කරනවා. ඉස්සෙල්ලා එකේ උනේ මොකද්ද? ඒ loop එක යන හැම වාරයක් පාසාම ඒක print වෙන්න ඕනේ. නේ? printing numbers නේ තිබ්බේ. එහෙනම් පළවෙනි වාරේ count කරපුවම 1 print වෙන්න ඕනේ 2 print වෙන්න ඕනේ 3 print වෙන්න ඕනේ. එතන මේ හැම අගයක්ම print කරන්න නම් printing එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ loop එක ඇතුලේ. දැන් සිද්ධ වුණේ ඔක්කොම ගණනය කරලා අවසාන උත්තරය විතරයි print උනේ. ඒක loop එකෙන් එළියට ඇවිල්ලා print කරන්න ඕනේ. හොඳයි පැහැදිලිද මේක? දැන් අපි අගයන් දාගෙන යම් බලන්න හැම වෙලේම ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ වගේ flow chart එකක් ඇඳාම or less than or equal 10ද කියලා අහලා තියෙනවා එක්කෙනෙක්. අපි බලමු less than or equal 10 දැම්මොත්ද හරියන්නේ කොහොම තිබ්බොත්ද හරියන්නේ කියලා බලමු. ඒකට තමයි values දාන්න කියන්නේ. අපි values apply කරලා බලමු. right. දැන් ඔන්න start කරා program එක. ඊට පස්සේ දෙවෙනි line එකට එනවා. දෙවෙනි line එකට එනකොට count වල අගය කීයද? count කියන එක මම c කියලා ගන්නම්. count කීයද?
0
බිංදුවයි 0. ඊළඟට තුන්වෙනි line එකට එනවා. තුන්වෙනි step එකට. තුන්වෙනි step එකට එනකොට total කීයද?
0
0. ඒත් 0. right. ඊළඟට decision එකට එනවා. decision එකට ඇවිල්ලා මුලින්ම බලන්නේ මොකක්ද? count කියන එක දැන් කීයද? බිංදුවයි. බිංදුව කුඩයි 10ද කියලා බලනවා. ඔන්න පළවෙනි condition එක බලනවා. බිංදුව කුඩයි 10ද කියලා බලනවා. බිංදුව කුඩයි 10ද? condition
true
true the false the
true
true condition true නම් true පැත්තට යන්නේ. true පැත්තට ගිහලා ඔන්න count එක calculate කරනවා. right. මෙතන calculate වෙන්නේ කොහොමද දැන්? අලුතෙන් c කියන එක count කියන එක සමාන වෙනවා දැනටමත් තිබ්බ count එක. count එකේ අගය. මෙතනට එනකොට count එකේ අගය කීයද? මේ line එකට එනකොට count එක කීයද?
0
0. එහෙනම් 0 එතනට දා ගන්නවා. එකක් එකතු කරනවා. එතන අලුතෙන් හැදෙන count එක 1යි. ඒ විදිහට total එක කීයද අලුතෙන් හැදෙන්නේ? මෙතනට එනකොට total එක කීයද?
1
මෙතනට එද්දි total එක කීයද? තාම initial total එකේ ඉන්නේ අපි. එතන මෙතනට එද්දි total කීයද? බිංදුවයි. 0 total එක 0. ඔකට එකතු වෙනවා count. දැන් මෙතනදී count එකේ value එක කීයද? තාම count 1යි. මෙතන calculate කරන්න. එහෙනම් count එක 1යි. 0 plus 1. එහෙනම් අලුතෙන් හැදෙන total එක 1යි. right. දැන් count එක කීයද මෙතන? ආපහු යනවා condition check කරන්න. දැන් මෙතන තියෙන අලුතෙන් හැදිච්ච count එක කීයද? දැන් මෙතනින් හදාගත්තනේ count එක. 1යි. එහෙනම් ඔන්න දෙවෙනි condition එක දැන් check කරනවා. ඔන්න දෙවෙනි condition එක මොකද්ද? 1 less than 10ද කියලා බලන්න. condition trueද?
true
හරි. එහෙනම් true පැත්තට යන්නේ. දැන් ඔන්න අලුතෙන් count කරනවා ආය count එක හදනවා. අලුත් count එක සමානයි ඉස්සෙල්ලා count එක කීයද තිබ්බේ? 1. ඒකට එකක් එකතු කරනවා. equal 2යි. ඔන්න අලුතෙන් count එක 2යි කියලා හදාගත්තා. ඒ විදිහට total එකක් හදන්න. අලුතෙන් හැදෙන total එක සමානයි ඉස්සෙල්ලා total එක කීයද?
1
දැන්ට තිබ්බ total එක total එක හැදෙන්නේ total equal total plus count කියලා. එහෙනම් අලුතෙන් හැදෙන total එක සමානයි මේ මොකද්ද මේ total කියන්නේ? previous total එක. දැනටමත් තියෙන total. දැනටමත් තියෙන total කියන අර previous repetition එකේ count කරපු total එක. කීයද?
1
එකයි. ඒකට එකතු කරනවා count. count කීයද? මෙතනට එන count එක දැන් calculate කරා කීයද? 2යි. එහෙනම් අලුත් total එක කීයද? 3යි. අලුතෙන් හදපු total එක 3යි. right. දැන් ආය යනවා condition එකට. right. දැන් condition එකේ count කීයද? 2යි. එහෙනම් ඔන්න තුන්වෙනි check in එක යනවා. condition එකේ count එකට 2 දා ගන්නවා. 2 කුඩයි 10යිද කියලා බලනවා. condition එක තාම true. එහෙනම් true පැත්තට යනවා. දැන් අලුතෙන් c කොහමද කීයද? count සමානයි count plus 1. count සමානයි count plus 1 කියලා එන්නේ. එහෙනම් කොහොමද හැදෙන්නේ?
2 plus
count equal දැනටමත් තියෙන count එක කීයද?
2 2
2යි. ඕකට කීයක්ද එකතු වෙන්නේ? 1ක්. එතන අලුත් total එක අලුත් count එක හැදෙනවා 3යි කියලා. right. count එක 3යි කියලා හදාගෙන දැන් total එක හදා ගන්නවා. right. දැන් කියන්නේ අලුත් total එක කීයද? අලුත් total එක සමානයි කොහොමද හදාගන්නේ? total equal total plus count. ඒ කියන්නේ අලුත් total එක සමානයි දැනටමත් තිබ්බ total එක එකතු කිරීම count. එතකොට දැනටමත් කීයද තියෙන්නේ total එක? 3 නේ. මේ ඉස්සෙල්ලා අවස්ථාවේ 3 මේ කොළ පාටින් තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් A3 එකට එකතු වෙනවා count එක. count එක කීයද?
3
3. මේ දැන් calculate කරපු count එක. 3 plus 3. ඒතර අලුතෙන් total එක හැදෙනවා කීයයිද? 6යි. total එක දැන් 6ක් වුණා. 6ක් කරගෙන ආය යනවා condition එකට. right. දැන් condition එකට යනකොට කීයද count condition count එක? 3යි. දැන් ඔන්න 4 වෙනි අවස්ථාව check කරනවා 3 කුඩයි 10ද කියලා. condition තාම true ද false ද? true. එහෙනම් true පැත්තට යන්නේ. හරි දැන් කියන්න මට count කීයද?
3 plus 1
3 plus 1 equal 4. right. total කියන්නේ
6 plus
6 plus 4.
total equal total plus 1 කියන්නේ එතන දැනටමත් තියෙන total එක. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් calculate වෙලා තියෙන total එක. දැනට total එක calculate වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කීයද? දම් පාටින් තියෙන්නේ දැන් total එක. 6. 6ට එකතු වෙන්න ඕනේ.
4.
count එක 4යි. 4. එහෙනම් අලුත් එක 10යි කියලා එනවා. right. දැන් ඔන්න ඒ අවස්ථාව හරි ආය condition එකට එනවා. ආය condition එකට එනකොට count එක කීයද දැන්? 4. හොඳයි. ඔය යන විදිය තේරෙනවා. දැන් ඔය විදියට 4 5 6 වෙනවා. 6 වෙනවා. count එක 9 වුණාම අන්තිම දැන් count එක අපි 9 වුණා කියමු මෙතන. count එක 9 වුණා. දැන් count කීයද? condition check කරන එක 9යි. දැන් අලුතෙන් හදන count එක කීයද? එහෙම ගිහලා C කීයද? 9 වුණාම. කීයද? දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කිව්වනේ 1 2 3 4 ඒ විදිහට ගියා. ගිහලා කොයි වෙලාවෙ හරි count 9 වෙනවනේ. 9 වුණාම අලුතෙන් හැදෙන count එක කීයද?
10.
9 plus 1. 9 plus 1 10. ඔව් chat box එකෙන් එවලා තිබ්බ උත්තරය හරි. 10. 9 plus 1 10. එතකොට total එක කොහොමද දෙන්නේ? total එක equal previous total plus count. ඒ කියන්නේ 10 වෙනි අගයත් count වෙලා ඉවරයි. මෙතනට එනකොට 10 වෙනි අගයත් count වෙලා ඉවරයි. ඔන්න දැන් count එක 10ක් වෙනවා. count එක 10ක් වුණාම මොකද වෙන්නේ? 10 less than 10ද කියලා බලනවා. condition true the false the false. ඒ කියන්නේ ආයේ මේ පැත්තට යනවද? නෑ. program එකේ condition not satisfied එහෙනම් false පැත්තට ගිහිල්ලා අර හොයපු total එක print කරනවා. කීයද හොයපු total එක? අර අගය ගන්නවා. එකේ ඉඳලා 10 දක්වා එකතු වරන් total එක print කරලා program එක stop කරනවා. මෙන්න මෙතන අපි අන්තිමට හොයාගත්ත total එක තමයි මෙතන print කරන්නේ. හොඳයි. පැහැදිලිද ඒක? Is it clear? Right. I think all of you get clearly understand the things we discussed regarding this problem, counting numbers between 1 to 10. Right? Here, when you are planning the repetition part, repetition things, the first you have to think about what are the initial values. Right? This initial value you have to think in different things, not only one. In this case, you have to think about two things, count and total. There are some many other cases, maybe more than 2, 3 or 4 things. Right? In that case, you have to think that things, I am now using the term things, but from next time I will give a special name for that. Special name, then you want to understand it. Until that I am using the word count, total, all of things, all of I category as things. But the actual name is actually variables. Those are known as variables. Then later you will understand it. Right? Then the first thing is when you are planning the repetitions, the first thing is you want to identify these variables, initial values of the variables. Initial values. In this case, count and total. Initial value is 0. Then you want to think about how to stop this repetition. How you are going to end it, stop it. To stop the things, you want to give a condition. In this program, in this example, condition is count less than 10. When count become 10, the program must be end. When count become 10, the program must be end. In that way, you have to think how you are going to end the flowchart. Then thirdly, third important thing is you want to think how that particular variable, so the things you identified earlier, increase or decrease, how they are going to increase or decrease. In this case, count is increased by 1, total is increased, total plus count. This is correct for this program. If you are getting another example, the case is different. In that case, the variable increment may be in different way. Then you have to identify, you have to think how these variables are increased. That is program. That is actually the logic behind the program. Right, okay. Then any problems, doubts or unclear things, you can ask me. Any මොන හරි ගැටලු තියෙන තැන් තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න බලන්න. මොන හරි එහෙම තේරෙන්නේ නැති තැන් තියෙනවද?
සර් අපිට ෆ්ලෝ chart එකේ count එක 0 එකයි total එක 0 එකයි same box එකකට දාන්න බැයිද?
පුළුවන්. එහෙම ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. අර මුලින්ම කරන ඒවා නිසා තමයි මම මේ වෙන වෙනම ලියන්නේ. මොකද මේ දෙක process දෙකක් කියලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ හඳුනා ගන්න ඕනේ. නේ? දැන් ඕක අපි program කරන්න ගියපුවාම එකම line එකේ count equal 0 total equal 0 කියලා ලියන්න බෑ. ඒ නිසා වඩා හොඳයි මේ විදිහට separately වෙන වෙනම ලියන එක. අපි programming කරන්න ගියපුවාම ඕක instruction දෙකක් විදිහට දෙන්න ඕනේ. count එක වෙනම 0 කරන්න ඕනේ. total එක වෙනම line එක 0 කරන්න ඕනේ. flow chart අඳිනකොට ඉතින් ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. එකම process එකේ එකම කොටුවේ count එක 0යි total එක 0යි කියලා දෙන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක වැරදි නෑ. නමුත් අපි program කරන්න ගියපුවාම කෙනෙක් flow chart එක බලලා program කරන්න ගියොත් එහෙම අර දෙකම එකම කොටුවේ තියෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් එයා හිතනවා එහෙනම් එකම line එකේ මේක කරන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. එතකොට වරදිනවා එතන. ඒ නිසා තමයි මම මේ separate lines වලට ගන්නෙ. හරි ටිකක් practice වුණාම පුරුදු වුණාම programming familiar වුණාම එතකොට flow chart අදිද්දි කෙටි ක්‍රම කෙටියෙන් ওই වගේ අඳින්න පුළුවන්. ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. පැහැදිලිද ඔයාලට?
ඔව් සර් thank you.
right. හොඳයි වෙන ගැටලු? වෙන ගැටලු unclear doubts මොනවා හරි වෙනත් අහන්න තියෙන දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් විෂයන් සම්බන්ධයෙන් හරි අහන්න. මේ විෂය සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපේ ටයිම් එක ඉවරයි 11 මාර පහු වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් නතර කරන්න තමයි මම හදන්නේ. Edmodo account එකට මම දාලා තියෙනවා assignment එකක් සහ තව quiz දෙකකුත් දැන් දානවා. quiz set දෙකක්. දෙකේම තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න 15යි කෙටි ප්‍රශ්න. ඒවා complete කරන්න assignment එකට සතියක කාලයක් තියෙනවා. 1 week time you have to complete the assignment. In the assignment there are I think 5 questions, 5 or 6 questions to draw the flowcharts and pseudo codes. Flowchart අඳින්නයි pseudo code ලියන්නයි තියෙන්නේ. ඒක උත්සාහ කරන්න. ඒක ලකුණු දෙන්න නෙමෙයි තියෙන්නේ ඒක assignment එක practice වෙන්න විතරයි. ලකුණු දෙන එකක් නෙමෙයි. ඔය Edmodo වල දාන ඒවා ගොඩක් ඒවා ලකුණු දෙන ඒවා නෙමෙයි. assignments අපි විභාගෙට ලකුණු ගන්න ඒවා නෙමෙයි. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් තමන්ගේ මට්ටම දැනගන්න තමයි මේ ලකුණ මම දෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා හැමෝම ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න ඒවා. බය නැතුව කරන්න, වැරදි වුණත් කමක් නැහැ, කරලා සබ්මිට් කරන්න. ඒ වගේ අමාරු තැන් තියෙනවා නම් අපි ඊළඟ පන්ති වලදී සාකච්ඡා කරමු. හරි ෆ්ලෝ chart අඳිනකොට අමාරු තැන් එන ඒවා අපි ඒ තැන් වලදී සාකච්ඡා කරමු. එතකන් උත්සාහ කරන්න. එතන ප්‍රශ්න 5ක් තියෙනවා. හරි. ඒ විදිහට Edmodo account හරහා දෙන දේවල් ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඊළඟට අපිට ලබන සතියේ පටන් ගමු මේ coordinates ලියන්න. coordinates ලියන අතරතුරම අපිට පුළුවන් තවත් flow charts එහෙම අඳින්න. hello guys. තව විනාඩියක් දෙන්නකෝ මම ඉවර කරන්න යන්නේ. right හරි මම විනාඩියක් ඉවර කරන්න. මේ පන්තියේ වනේ වෙබ් තියෙන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ පන්තියේම නේද? හරි මම ඉවර කරන්න. හරි right ඕක ඊළඟට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ පන්තිය පටන් ගන්න ලෑස්ති කරලා තියෙන මං හිතන්නේ. අපි ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ මං හිතන්නේ තියෙනවා web designing කියලා subject එකක්, introduction to web designing. ඒ subject එකත් කරන්නේ මම හවස 4ට තියෙන්නේ. අපි ආය 4ට හම්බෙමු මේ subject එකේ. Hari, Enan, thank you very much for the participation. Right, okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome.
So thank you. Please give me 1 minute.